Welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Carrie Hawker-Diaz, and I am so excited because we get to sit down with our brand new host, Jennifer Stehlin, and we get to know her a little bit better. We talked with you, I feel like, on the show, but we only had like 3 minutes.
It was very short, very brief.
Very brief, but this now we get a little bit longer to get to know you. Okay, so you started a couple months ago.
I did, yes.
How have you been feeling? Like, we're so happy you're here, I just have to say, but how have you been feeling?
I'm so happy to be here. Like, this literally feels like a dream come true because it's so fun. You guys are so great. And every day it just brings a ton of joy into my life. So coming to work, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I get to have fun. We get to do new things. I'm learning so many things, especially about Salt Lake City. So I am having the time of my life.
Well, you are literally like that puzzle piece that fits right in with all of us. Like, because we're all very so supportive of each other. And David, Brooke, Alora, and I, we're no drama. We just like handle our business. We love to have fun and support each other, lift each other up. And I feel like you are like the perfect puzzle piece that just fits in with us. So we're so excited to have you with us.
I'm so grateful. And it literally just goes to say, like, it's weird when we don't get to say like goodbye to each other. Like, everyone's texting happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I missed you. Like, I didn't get to say goodbye. And that's just when you know it's like good people. And I love surrounding myself by good people. So
that
I'm
you like
so
your
grateful.
coworkers.
Yes.
Yes. It's so true.
It makes sense. You know, you got to have that on-camera chemistry.
Yeah.
And we have it. And honestly, it just feels like we get to go have fun.
Yeah. It's just like we just picked back up from like we've known each other for years, all of us. And it's interesting because we don't all get to host all together like every day. It switches off every day.
Could you imagine a show with all 5 of us?
There would be no time. There would be no time, and our producer would be like, okay, my ears hurt. Y'all are so loud. But yeah, it's so fun because you are Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays on the show. And then sometimes we switch off, obviously, when like people have vacation and stuff. But so happy to have you anyway. So let's go back to like, how did you get to Salt Lake City? Like, why Salt Lake?
I guess I'll take you all the way back to the beginning. Born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. It's where I grew up. I grew up competitive dancing, cheerleading. I went to the University of Florida. And that is where, actually kind of before I even went to college, I was Miss Florida's Outstanding Teen. So I was 17 years old. I was sent all around the state as a Children's Miracle Network ambassador, meeting children in the hospital, speaking on the radio, speaking at public events.
Wait, how old were you at this point?
17.
Wow.
And that's when I always knew I wanted to be in entertainment. I had a small taste of it. I was 13 years old, and my first commercial, it was for Gossip Girl. And I have an incredible uncle who's an executive producer, has his own company, and showed me life on set and life in entertainment and how it is a career and how if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And so that kind of put the taste in my mouth. But really, when I was 17 years old, traveling all over, asking to dance and sing and perform at all these different events, like I sang the Canadian National Anthem and the American National Anthem at an international convention when I was 17.
Wait, I mean, I kind of knew you sang, but like you sing. This is so fun to get to know about you. Yeah, if you're singing anthems.
Oh yeah. Took vocal lessons because as an actress, I never wanted to not get a part because I wasn't good at something. So I was dedicated to dance. I was dedicated to singing. I was committed to acting and theater. I'm just one of those people where I don't like being told no. So like, I'm going to get good at everything so you can't say no.
It's just not possible to say no.
That's not my thing. I don't like being told no at all.
Yeah.
So that's really when I was on ESPN radio when I was 17 and I saw a kid entering a hosting and it was for the Jacksonville Giants, a semi-pro team in Florida. And I was like, hey, I want to do that. And so that is when my first time on the court in front of a live audience, you know, I'd done TV appearances and been on the news and things, but really stepping into a host role. And I loved it. And so that's when I went to the University of Florida. I auditioned 3 times to be a UF cheerleader. Didn't make it my first 2, but that really is where I built a lot of strength, determination, because not making the team, I was the very last one to get cut. I really realized that you have to commit to things in life. And that's really where I learned early about dedication, giving it 110%, and really going after the things that I wanted. Because my mom was like, well, what if you cheer in front of 90,000 people in the swamp on Saturday? I mean, it's SEC football. And I was like, I've got to do this. I was 21 years old, waking up at 4 a.m. to go run stadiums, doing 2-a-days, working out with my trainer, stunting with the team. And ultimately, that was one of my proudest accomplishments, is being able to say that I was a D1 athlete and a cheerleader at the University of Florida.
Wow. And that's the third time. So she doesn't take no for an answer,
no,
guys.
I really don't. If you tell me no, you will be hearing from me again, I promise. And I will be better than I was last time.
What did the workouts look like with that? You said like 2-a-days and in the humidity too, which we're not used to here in Utah.
Oh, Oh yeah. It's like, especially during like the summer months, it's really hot. You're just sweating all the time.
You're getting rid of those toxins, so maybe it's good for you.
Literally. It was crazy. I still sometimes think about it being like, I woke up at 4 a.m. to go get to the stadium at 5:30 to run from 5:30 to 6:30 to get back home to eat, you know, my eggs and my protein filled breakfast to be in class at 8 a.m.
Wow. And like, then you had a full day already by 8 a.m.
Full day. Like, I can vividly remember the sun coming up as I'm running stadiums being like, if this is what you want, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it ultimately, a lot of things in my life have come full circle. When I was on the cheer team, I was working for ESPN. We had a section of ESPN radio and we had a news station. And so I would do sports segments and all that. And so I would literally be on the sidelines cheering at the game, but writing my story in my head to, you know, to go on air the next day or the following week or something like that. And so it was always really fun. Even when I was in Florida, I still did several different things, which is a very trend in my life. I like to do a lot of things. I was the in-stadium host for Gator baseball and Gator gymnastics.
That's so fun.
Which was so awesome. It's actually where I got my nickname, Jumpsuit Jen.
Jumpsuit Jen.
Yeah, because when you're in the arena, especially when you're with kids, and I'll never forget, we had the chicken shack chicken dance. Tongue twister there. But it was one of those where we do it with kids and we do the chicken dance. And so I was like, I can't be in a skirt. I can't be in shorts. I was like, I need to be in pants.
Children, sure.
You know, you're in the arena. Camera angles can always be a little funky.
Yeah.
I don't want you catching up the skirt. And so that's where I started wearing all my jumpsuits. Jumpsuit Jen came about. Even when I interviewed for this job, I was like, Jumpsuit Jen is coming out. I pulled out one of my jumpsuits.
Oh, I love a good jumpsuit.
Oh my gosh, they're just so perfect. So I got my degree in broadcast journalism. After graduating, I moved to LA, and that's where I lived for about 3.5, 4 years.
Okay, how, like, at what age were at this point?
It was right after college. I was 22 years old. Moved to LA. Didn't really know anybody, didn't have any friends, but was determined to go work in the entertainment industry.
What was like the ultimate goal? Entertainment industry, like what did you want to do? Acting or modeling or like, you like to do it all. So maybe it was all of it.
It's kind of all encompassing, you know, it's one thing leads to another and leads to another. And so I know I just love the world of entertainment. I love being on camera. I love interviewing people and hearing their stories. That's also where, as an actress, I'm sure you know, it's sharing that story with the audience and telling that story and really getting into the character development and the whys. And so it's kind of where, if I'm not asking someone questions and understanding their story, that's how I can tell another story. And the art of entertainment, of being in movies and TV show, is supposed to take you away from reality. It's supposed to entertain you.
You become those people.
You do. And there's always a little piece of you that's still with them, even after the job's done and the role's over. And so, that was the dream, to move to LA. And I'm proud that I did it. I did several different things when I was there, between acting, modeling, dancing. I also worked as a red carpet reporter. I worked for an all-female sports network. And then I also worked for FX Networks. I realized very quickly that if I'm not in front of the camera, how am I going to learn from the best of the best? And so I would second AD for FX. And so
awesome. I think that's so smart, because then you know all angles. You know exactly. I mean, it makes you a better person on camera.
Absolutely. And I always know that, like, producing is just part of who I am. I'm always trying to think creatively, how can we do this? How can we do this better? It's something that we do as hosts to make segments better, to make interviews better. But as a producer, you know, you're looking at angles and lightings and several different things of like, how can we show this differently and how can we tell this? And so that's where I was like, it's going to better me not only as an actress, because I'm going to know every single person on set. I'm going to understand the grip department. I'm going to understand lighting. I'm going to work with stunt people, you know?
Yeah, all of it.
You know, we worked on, I'll never forget, it was on a Dave promo, and it's the one where the car is flipping in the air and then landing and then exploding. And so
a few stunts there.
Few stunts. They've also included me in the stunts. I've been, knowing with my background as a cheerleader and a dancer, they're like, hey, can we put you 20 feet in the air and have fire flames at your feet? Are you cool with that?
And you probably said, yes, let's go.
I did. Yep, I did. Yeah, the president of marketing turns around. She's like, Jennifer, you good? And I was like, sign me up. Let's go. I'm like, and then 30 minutes later, I was rigged up and hanging in the air.
Okay, so speaking of like doubling, you have to tell me about the Julia Roberts story.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So I was Julia Roberts' dance double on a New York Times commercial.
Okay, no big deal. Okay.
But I think that's one of my favorite moments. I have a few favorite moments on set, but it's in the top 5. She is absolutely a gem. She has the laugh that you hear in the movies is her real, genuine laugh.
Oh, she has the best laugh. It's just so warm and friendly. I love her laugh.
It literally feels like a hug.
Yeah.
And she's not even hugging you, but the whole set was just, everyone was smiling. It was so joyful. Unfortunately, she couldn't, it was a part of a like Broadway theatrical number, and she just needed a little help.
Sure.
And they were like, we know you're a dancer, so I had to put on her pants and her shoes.
Oh my gosh.
Literally that she had worn, and do a little tap dance on set. And so that was really fun. She was an absolute gem to work with and just so kind. And that's one thing is, Hollywood sometimes gets a bad rap of everyone not being the kindest, but I can vouch that she was very, very sweet.
That's so fun to hear. I have looked up to her, as like many people love Julia Roberts. So that's fun to hear that she is amazing and nice and sweet. Okay. Speaking of Hollywood and people you've met, like anyone else that stood out to you as like super nice, kind, because it's always like, if you see somebody and you've always loved them or admired them, you're like, do I want to talk to them? Because if they're not,
they say never meet your heroes.
Yes. Well, and like, they don't owe us anything. Like they don't have to like say hi or like take a picture or whatever, So it's always that like weird, like, do I say hi? But is there anyone that you've worked with that stands out to you as being super kind and super nice?
Absolutely. It is Jane Fonda through and through.
Yes, I love hearing that.
Yes, she was so sweet. We were working on a L'Oreal commercial together, and Jane and I would actually walk on set just arm in arm. I'd be like, Jane, we're ready for you on set. And we'd grab arm in arm and just like walk together, just like two girls going to set.
Cute.
And I loved her. I'll never forget. We were in this very small elevator in this house with the director, and it's the three of us. And then she touches my skin and she's like, you're so young. You should be in this commercial with us. And I was like, director, do you want to put me in? Didn't work out.
Always got to try.
Always got to try. But even after that moment, we just had so much fun girling out. And it was so cool to see her practicing her lines for Grace and Frankie out there. She's just running lines. And on that commercial was Helen Mirren and Viola Davis. And they were all so sweet as well. And so it was just like these powerhouse women in this L'Oreal commercial. And I was like, I'm just honored to be in your presence. But then getting to work with them and interact with them one-on-one was truly so special. And at this point in my career, I think I was like 24. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, this is actually why I worked hard behind the scenes, because I'm getting to see the best of the best do what they do live in front of my eyes.
I mean, that's experience like you just don't get anywhere. So that's really special that you had that opportunity.
That might be one of my biggest regrets in life, is that I didn't get a photo with Jane Fonda, because I didn't want to get blacklisted from the industry, because that's not something you do on set, but I should have. After 6 days of arm in arm, knowing each other, she knew me by first name. I've even ran into her publicist, or Viola Davis publicist, and everyone from that set, she's like, oh my gosh, I remember you, Jennifer. And so just like being on set, as you know, is like, you build those bonds and those relationships. And so to meet them, I doubt they'd still remember me today. But
I'm sure they would. And since Jane's probably listening to this podcast, Jane, you can come take a picture with us anytime you want.
I just need a photo. That would make my heart so content. But that's probably one of the only, I try not to regret things in life.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the only ones of where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I should have just done it, because I don't know if I'll ever see her again.
I think you will. I think that's going to come back, and like, you'll run into her and she'll remember you. And I think we're going to get that photo.
I hope so. I'm like, Jane, that L'Oreal commercial several years ago,
we're gonna get the photo
we
moment.
Walked arm in arm.
Yes. Okay. So L'Oreal, that's a big, big brand. Okay. And Hulu. I know that you've done stuff with Hulu. Tell us about that.
Yes. So I had my first co-star role in the Hulu show Pam and Tommy, about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. I got to play one of Pam's best friends.
Fun.
And that is an absolute dream. Like, I know that no matter where in my life, I'm still going to always continue to act, because you can be 82, 83 like Jane Fonda and still have a career in television.
Totally.
And so that's where I always say in my life, like, whatever door opens, it's meant to be, whether it's in sports and entertainment, or just TV hosting and lifestyle and fashion, or maybe it's in the acting realm of things. It all is encompassing in entertainment. But that was one of my literal dream come trues, to be on that show. And we had so much fun. Lily James was fantastic. Sebastian Stan was absolutely incredible. We had this core group of like Pam's friends, and the guys and girls. Like, I'll never forget on set. It was the last day on set, and I had everyone over in my trailer, and we had Thanksgiving dinner, and we just truly had the ultimate bond. And I actually met one of my very best friends to this day on the set.
Oh, you become family, honestly, when you spend a lot of time together.
You do. And if anyone's watched the show, I will say there's nudity in the show. I'm warning you now. If you go watch it, don't have your kids around.
You've been warned.
Yeah, you've been warned. But there's a club scene. We actually filmed that club scene for 12 hours. And for someone who might not know, who's not familiar on set, you actually don't have music when you film these club scenes because we had lines. So it was 12 hours of fake dancing and pumping. And then there was a point where we had to like get so many different angles of like taking shots that were our ginger ale. I was like, my stomach hurts from all the carbonation. I was like, I don't want to have any ginger ale for a year.
You're like, I'm done with that.
But we had so much fun. And that's just when you know it's a great group, is when you're like dancing, actually having fun in a scene. And like, even though there's no music, there's 200 background extras surrounding you who are like, we're all tired. You know, we're in a dark club and you start. I think I was on set that day at like 5 a.m. in hair and makeup. The
hours are crazy.
You're like, I don't know. It was dark when we went in. It's dark when we come out. I just know I've been in there a long time.
Yeah.
But even too on their like wedding scene, I'll never forget. We all ran and jumped in the water and like just had the best time. But I got to meet one of my best friends, Peppy. I was actually in her wedding this past summer. And it was cool because Peppy's Nigerian. So she had two Nigerian ceremonies and a traditional American wedding. And so I was able to participate in both of those. She was like, you're my girl, you're a professional dancer. So I actually got to perform. There's a tradition of where before the bride comes out, they present her friends, and the groom has to be like, that's not my bride, that's not my bride, that's not my bride, and like turn down all of her friends before she comes out. And so you get to pick a traditional Nigerian song or a more modern.
How cool.
Yeah. And I was so nervous because it's so out of my element. I'm not Nigerian, but it was really sweet just bonding with her family that had all flown over from Nigeria. They were helping me with my dance routine, and I love the Nigerian culture. Is so supportive and encouraging. They're like, go out there. And they're like, the best thing you can do is just feel the music from your soul, because then it comes from the heart. And no matter what you do, it's coming from just such a genuine place in your soul. And so I loved being able to share that. But the Hulu show was a dream come true. And I got my best friend out of it. And it's one of my proudest moments because we were truly on set. I was sad that it was a limited series. It couldn't be a reoccurring series because I would have just loved to do that every single day.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I have to ask you, because coming from set, you and I both love being just there no matter what we're doing. They have something called Crafty. So if you're not familiar with that too, it's like the table of treats and like drinks and snacks. Because there's a lot of downtime on set, and you're snacking, you're maybe taking a nap, you're reading a book until your scene is up. But do you have a favorite snack, or do you love to do you walk by, just casually grab like a couple things, or do you hang out like near Crafty, or like what's your favorite? Like what are you hoping to see when you show up?
Oh, yeah. So I try to stay away from Crafty because I'm such a grazer. I will.
Same.
If I'm walking by, I'm picking something up.
Yes.
Which actually is a problem if you walk by 20 times a day. So I try, and coffee's so easy to just keep on drinking it. Yeah. But also then you add a little creamer, and then you add a little too much sugar, and you're like, now I've got a sugar rush and I have nothing to do.
And then you crash. Yes.
So I try to stay away from Crafty. I try to drink water as much as I can. I'll opt for tea and then coffee when I'm desperate. When I am really like down and need to pick me up, I'm going for the peanut M&Ms. But
so good.
If I'm just starting out and I'm like actually trying to evaluate how hungry I am, I try to go for like the banana.
Yeah.
Because that's like always there.
Yeah. Yeah, there is like the banana, the orange. I feel like a lot of Crafty too like has a mix of like you'll have like your super like guilt snacks,
Totally.
and then you have like a little bit of healthier. I think that's like the best Crafty when it's all balanced. So you have like all your choices.
But if they've got the pass around tray, I'm always taking something.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I'm always trying. So that's also why I try to stay away, because then if it smells good, if anything smells good, I can smell something in the dead of night. Like if you're making bacon at midnight, I am waking up to come eat your bacon.
Well, and this is actually a good transition into food, because like you're a big foodie.
Yes.
You love to travel too. So let's talk about how your career, and I want to get to sports too, so we'll talk about that in a little bit, but like where did you find your love for travel and going to restaurants and showing all of that too on social media?
Yeah, so it actually, I kind of put it together, I shouldn't say recently, but my mom's a chef and a culinary teacher, and my dad is a pilot. So those are the two roots of my entire childhood. Yeah. My mom, even still, we were talking about it this Thanksgiving, how she was like, every time I would cook in the kitchen, you would just sit at the kitchen table and just talk to me when I was cooking for you guys. And that's just how we bonded, but how I learned to cook is just by watching and being there with her. And then my dad, I loved to just powwow around with him. Even too, when he flew for Delta. And by the time I was 18, I'd had flown on over 200 commercial flights.
Wow.
Because I learned how to finesse the system and would fly standby. For example, I was 15. I was in school and I got a text from my uncle who has a production company who works in entertainment. He was like, hey, we might need you on set this weekend. It was for Rescue Me. And I remember texted my mom and was like, hey, we might need me in New York for a commercial. Like, can we go? And she was like, yeah. She was like, looked at the standby passes. She picked me up from school on Friday early so we could make it there. And on Saturday, I was on set and I played a little cheerleader in the commercial.
So fun.
And so that's where it was like traveling to set, getting to explore. And then it's New York City. So we always ate good food.
Yes.
That's really just where it came from. And that's where my love of those two things. And then I'm like, as I'm older, I'm like, wait, I'm going to travel the world and go to the best restaurants because food just literally makes me melt inside. And I truly think that food and dance are two experiences that you can share with people without speaking the same language.
True.
You can understand culture better, music. You can feel food and dance in your soul. And so that's where it's like those two things I am so passionate about and I truly love them.
And now I'm hungry.
I know. So now I'm like, I'm dreaming of all the food that I want to eat.
Yes. It's so fun. Yeah. If you follow Jennifer on social, it's so fun to see all your trips and your food and everything. And then sports. I feel like you are a sports girly and you are like, let's talk about all the hosting you've done and then currently what you're doing in sports too.
Absolutely. So the sports thing, when I moved to LA, it was kind of like still touching on sports, but more of an entertainment focus. Then COVID happened. Actually, speaking about my mom, she'll love this fun fact. During COVID, we started a YouTube show called Shake and Bake together. And it was to help her understand my life on set, where I'd build shot lists for her, understand the production. We'd sit and edit the show together. But then it was also her teaching me and her students. So she was still teaching at the time. And we would send these videos out to her students for them to learn and lesson plan. So that was a fun thing. But during COVID, as you know, everything shut down.
Yeah.
There was nothing going on. And I love fitness and wellness. I'm actually a certified ISSA personal trainer.
When do you sleep?
I don't. The thing is I don't train any clients, but I did work for a fitness and nutrition company where I did start my own dance cardio program. So being PT certified was very important to me and understanding, the body. And as a D1 athlete and someone who just always loves.
You had to pay attention to that.
You have to. And understanding major muscle group and the why too of why we're moving, why we're doing this. And so my fitness instructor sent me, this was before I was certified. I was actually getting my bar certification. That's why we were close. She was like, hey, the Las Vegas Raiders are having their audition, a virtual audition for their inaugural Las Vegas team. I immediately thought of you. And I was like,
Interesting.
Well, I hadn't thought about doing an NFL team or going back to it. I kind of was like, I'm good after college. Like I lived out those dreams. And I was like, well, it's COVID. Nothing's going on. And so I tore apart my sofa in my living room, made a dance studio out of it, was stretching every day. I was meal prepping with my mom. We were cooking our show. It all kind of just worked out together. And it was such a special time because in December of the year prior, that was when I found out that I had 2 skin cancer spots. So in December, I had my 2 skin cancer surgeries and I was recovering still by this point in March because I had internal and external stitches. And I remember thinking, I wish I just had like 2 weeks, get back on my feet. Like it was in the middle of my back and on my arm. I couldn't do push-ups. Anytime I would get my blood pumping during that 3-month recovery time, I could feel it in my stitches and it would like itch and it would burn.
You got to let that heal.
Yeah. And so that's when I was like, well, I'm a goal-oriented person. So I was like, this is a great goal for me to just get back into what I'm used to and to like eating healthy and working out and moving my body. And so that I was like, you know what, we're going to do it. And we did it. We submitted the video. Out of 1,600 girls, I was one of 65 who got invited to finals. And then I was one of 32 who ended up making the inaugural team.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, welp, we're moving to Vegas.
Going to Vegas. And had you ever spent much time there?
I had been to Vegas like once or twice. I went for the Miss America pageant when I was out in Vegas. And yeah, that was it.
So just a new adventure. You're like, we're going to be living there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know where people live in Vegas. I was like, my parents were like, you're moving to Vegas. This is an interesting choice. But I was like, I made the team. It's going to be great. I have 32 teammates and coaches and an entire organization to guide me.
How long did you do that?
I was on the team for 3 years. And this is where it came full circle and back into fully in sports is I told the team, hey, I'm a sports reporter. I'm an on-camera host. Like, I would love to work with the team in another capacity if there's availability. They were like, actually, yeah. I mean, it was cool. I auditioned for one of their TV shows and I didn't get it, but that's also where I met my future co-host. From there, he was like, hey, we're looking for another in-arena host. I know you have experience, like, come on over. And auditioned, got that role. So then I worked for the Henderson Silver Knights, the Golden Knights, and the Nighthawks. And that's kind of where it really infiltrated me from in all the sports aspect of working, not only on camera, dancing on the field. I then signed with the Raiders to do digital segments with them. And then ultimately the choice was, hey, we do have a TV show we want you to host for the Raiders, but you got to hang up your pom-poms. And I was like, no problem. I can hang up the pom-poms. By that point, I was like, I'm good. I've done 3 years on the team. I want another young woman to have this opportunity. The longer I stayed, the more I'm preventing someone else from having this incredible opportunity. And so I was like, absolutely take my pom-poms. And then I hosted the TV show, The Raiders Report for them, which was an absolute gem. One of my favorites was we would do this morning commute. The athletes would get in my car and we would just talk about anything but football.
That's fun.
And so it's like getting to know them and who they are as people.
Those are my favorite kind of interviews.
Oh, yeah.
I love actually getting to know somebody. Like, forget about the sports. Like, what makes you happy? What's your favorite food?
We see what we do. We see what you do on the field, your X's and O's, but like, I want to know, like, what are you doing on your off day? And so that's where it was like really fun. And then I had the opportunity to work with the Las Vegas Aces, hosting the first ever TV show for a team in the WNBA. It was called In the Paint with the Las Vegas Aces, hosted by Jennifer Stehlin. And that was an absolute dream because these women are just powerhouses. And that was the year we won our back-to-back championships. So I got to be there with them, experience with them. I interviewed all of the players after the huge win. I mean, we had the parade and it was honestly everything that I could have dreamed of. And I truly loved that. And so having 2 TV shows bouncing back and forth, I think I ended up working for like 8 or 9 of the sports teams in Vegas. I think all but 3 that I worked for, doing several different things. I was there and I got to experience my first Super Bowl in Las Vegas, doing all the events and activities and coverage and going to NFL honors and everything. And so it was truly just a great experience. But after about 5 years in Vegas, that's when I was like, you know what? I've kind of put my hand in everything. I've pitched everything I can pitch. Everyone's like, Jennifer, we don't have the budget. We can't do anything new. And that's when I just realized that I needed to go expand and go to different markets and try new things and just be different. And so that's when I started working for the Denver Broncos and in-arena hosting for them. And so live on the mic in front of 76,000 people has absolutely been exhilarating.
Just a couple people.
Just a few.
Just
it's
a
no
few.
biggie.
What do they have you do when you say in-arena host? Like, what are you doing?
So I will do intros for the players when they come out for warm-ups. We do a pregame hit where we tell fans what's going on during the day, who's singing the anthem, the halftime that we got coming up. We do giveaways and prizes. And so, keeping the fans informed, especially this season, it was really important. Communicating what Coach said in his press conference about how we need to get loud, we need to get rowdy, and communicating that with the fans. And not only that, we'd also do just like fun games on the field where, they're big money winners. I've given away a Ford Bronco.
Fun.
And so it's all of those kind of just fun things. I tell people my role as an in-arena host is whenever the puck's not in play, whenever the ball's not in play, I'm there to entertain you, whether that's like with games or trivias or t-shirt tosses.
Giveaways, giving away cars.
Yeah, giving away cars. That was something, a dream checklist to do.
Yeah.
Because it's always so fun. It's always just what I like to call organized chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like in the moment, you just never know what's going to happen. So you absolutely have to think on your toes and you're
And
so
it's live.
good at that. It's live.
So
anything
you
can
just
happen.
gotta go. There's no starting over.
Right. What led you to, was the Mammoth next?
Yes, that is what brought me to Salt Lake City, is to work with the Utah Mammoth as their in-arena host. So if you're ever at a game, I'm the girl on the Jumbotron.
Hey.
And that's why I was here. 41 home games during hockey. I was like, I'm absolutely going to move here. Plus, I wanted a new adventure from Vegas to just check it off. And I ski. I've actually never, in Vegas, there are mountains, but not like here.
Yeah.
Like the first time it snowed on the mountains, I gasped. I was like, even driving the first time it snowed, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's so
like,
beautiful.
I'm a Florida girl. It never snows. It never gets this cold. And
Yeah.
so I'm so excited to just be here and ski season and just to do something different. As you maybe could pick up or tell, I like putting myself outside of my comfort zone. I always say learning is one of my favorite hobbies because when I'm bored, good things don't happen.
No,
like,
it's true. It's when you step outside that. It's so true. What else do you love about Utah? Anything that you're like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know this, or anything like you find like interesting that you didn't know before moving here?
I think I'm still learning that process, and I think kind of terrified to like go drive up in the snow. I don't really have the car to drive in the snow. I've learned about snow tires.
Yes, very important.
But luckily I called my dad and he's like, you've got all-wheel drive, you're okay. But just learning how beautiful it is here and all of the outdoor activities that you can go and find. And also I'm just so excited to go on the foodie hunt here and try all the new places.
We have great restaurants. We've really come up here in Salt Lake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you tried fry sauce yet?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No,
I'm so excited.
And I need a swig too. I haven't tried that either.
Okay, we're gonna go to a couple places. We're gonna get some fries and fry sauce, and we're gonna get you a swig, and we're gonna go hang out.
Give me all the recs because I need it. That's one of my favorite things. I love trying new things. That's just one of my hobbies.
I'm so excited to have you try fry sauce. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is so fun. Anything else that you want to tell our listeners, or any other stories or anything that we didn't cover?
Honestly, if you guys, please give me all of your recommendations for anything travel and food related, even at home cooking. I love, I'm always trying new things. I think that's just like a theme around me is I'm always trying new things, putting myself outside of my comfort zone. And I want to connect with the people. That's what I've loved about all of the games so far is just fans coming up to me and be like, hey, we just wanted to get to know you. They watch the show. And I think that's so fun. You guys just get to see me in the daytime. And then we get to go have fun and bond together over, several different sporting events and things to do. But yeah, I love traveling. I'm always on the go. If you guys got any recommendations, I know I've got a few lined up. We were just talking about, summer trip, or can we make Thailand? Can we make Bali work? How are we going to get that one done?
I think you make all of it work if you can. Are you kidding? Yes, do it.
I love to see, do, eat, smell, all the things.
All the things. Well, we have been so excited to have you join the Fresh Living team. And I get to see you Thursday, Fridays. I'm not in Wednesdays, but I'd love to see you every day because you're just so genuine and people are just instantly loving you. So
thank you.
Can't wait.
Same with you. I was like, I love you already. I loved you when I was interviewing before I had even met anyone. I did deep dive into you guys and I was like, wait, they seem so cool. I was like, I actually want to be friends with you guys. Like, I want to hang.
Oh, and we are.
And here we are.
That's what we're going to do. It is so fun. Okay. We could talk for hours about your career. It's like so impressive, but we do, as you know, what we call Fresh Five at the end of every interview, just to do little fun things. You have no idea what I'm asking you. Mm-mm. Are you ready?
Yes. Weekdays
or weekends?
Weekends. Okay. Love a good weekend. I'm always motivated on the weekends. Okay. Probably why I work 7 days a week.
There you go. There you go. Festivals or concerts?
I haven't been to many festivals, but I will say the experience of a festival, like Stagecoach, is awesome. The fact that you can see 40 of your favorite artists all at the same time instead of just one concert.
Yeah, where you get like a whole thing.
But I did take my mom to the Jonas Brothers concert out here in Salt Lake City, and I screamed like a teenage girl.
That's fun.
She was like, I don't know who you were, but I thought you were 13. I was like, me too. Like literally a squeal came out and I was like, who was that? I was like, that was me. That was totally me. But I love live music, so Either way is great.
Either way. Okay. Friends or Seinfeld?
Friends, for sure.
Frozen yogurt or ice cream?
Frozen yogurt, because I always like a little sweet treat, but on the healthy scale.
On the healthy scale. Okay. And last one. What is making you happy right now in life?
This show.
Oh,
it really is. I get so excited to come to work. And I think that's the hardest thing, but the best thing you can ever work for is just to love what you do and get excited to show up. I love putting on my clothes and the outfits and the makeup. I grew up shockingly a tomboy and loved climbing trees and rollerblading. So I don't know where the crossover happened. Probably competitive
with
dance.
With the sequins and the glitter now.
Oh, yeah. When I found fake eyelashes, I was like, yeah, boy, I love this. Now I go home. My dad's like, what happened to my tomboy? I'm like, oh, she's still in there. Still like to fish and do all the sporty things. Yeah. I don't mind sweating.
You can fish with your eyelashes.
Exactly.
You could be both.
Yeah. I always say I can do anything in heels and sequins.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've done some things in heels and sequins. Hiking up a mountain, in in Greece because they don't tell you there are mountains there, but I'm not going to give up on the outfit. If it's a cute outfit, I will struggle.
Gotta get those pictures.
I will go through the pain of it, but I love a cute outfit. But really, being on the show and having this job is bringing me so much joy. I'm getting to connect with so many people in the community and here at the station, and you guys. It really is just, I don't say this lightly, but I feel like it's a dream come true that I get to come to work and be in such a wonderful city with such kind people who've welcomed me with open arms. That really makes it easy for me to rest my head on the pillow at night.
You bring us joy, Jennifer. Seriously, we are so
thank
happy
you.
to have you. And if you want, you need to follow her because she's so fun. So tell people where we can follow all your adventures.
Yes. The foodie page is just Jen and Juice, and so that's Jen with 3 N's. And then my Instagram is at Jennifer Stehlin, and that's same on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that kind of good stuff.
And spell it for us, the last name.
Yes, last name is Stehlin.
Okay, follow along. She is so much fun, you guys. Okay, so fun getting to know you a little bit better.
Thanks for having me, and I'll see you guys on the show.
Yes, we'll see you on set. Okay, and thank you for listening to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.